and gentlemen, boys and girls. So here we are in the IS2-M on, the hell's the name of this map? Live Oaks. We are top tier, and I decided right off the bat, looking at what we had, what they had, I'm going to go right into the city and see what I can do. I load a premium round right off the bat, and I can't remember if I take it off. I can't remember if I take it off it or not. I might have shot my first round as premium. Again, this is the very first match I had in this. If you already have the IS2 Berlin or the standard IS or the KV-122, don't waste your money. This thing, compared to those, is nothing really special, and I will show you the comparison between those four tanks here in a little bit. Also, after the match, I do not have any post-game stats for you on this one, unfortunately. I apologize. I updated my drivers for NVIDIA yesterday. They had some new drivers come out the other couple days ago, so I went ahead and updated mine, and I did a clean install, and I forgot to set up my microphone and stuff. So I did the match, and I went to record the post-game stats, and lo and behold, I couldn't, because I didn't have anything set up. Couldn't turn it on or anything. So kind of a bummer, but I mean, it's just pretty much a standard match. Nothing. I know 3 or 5, 10,000 damage. Just I think I did a little over. I think I did like maybe 1,200, give or take. I'm not even really sure, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to show you what you can do is top tier, and what's going to happen when you're bottom tier facing a lot of tier 9s. And that's the forever load time, or forever aim time. And I'm just going to go ahead and push in here as hard and fast as I can. The only problem, and this is a mistake, I don't make this very often, but if you look, I've got, here, let's make that bigger. Here's moi, and I've got one heavy back there, and a tank destroyer, a light tank. Let's say I thought there was a medium back there too. And they're not pushing up to assist me. So basically, it's like I just put my head in a chopping block, depending on all what's up here. Because basically the only thing that's been spotted so far is a Tiger P, the 3485, and a T-34. So the only one out of these that I'm really worried about is the Tiger P, because that's got really good armor. And when I shot my premium round, I completely missed and hit a wall up there. So my second round is actually an AP round, APCR round also, because I wanted to make sure if that Tiger P, if I was going to get a shot on him, I wanted to make sure I was going to pen him, because 175 definitely is not going to go through his lower, his hull, because that's like 200 and something. I shot at that with that TP, the 50 TP, the Tier 8 Premium, with 203 penetration, and bounced off his, or 218. Is it 218? Anyways, I bounced off his lower plate with that, so I knew that 175 is definitely not going to go through his lower plate, and his turret is really strong too. So I just wanted to make sure that hopefully if I was going to get to shoot him, I was actually going to be able to penetrate him. But I drive right on through there because he's going the other way, and I didn't want to try and turn around and chase him, because I know there's two tanks sitting over here somewhere. There's one of them, lo and behold. We hit him for 357, and I get backed up, and I got to watch out because there's this little sneaky guy right there. He T-34 hits me and bounces. We end up hitting that 3485 the second time and finished him off. And that Tiger P is on my butt, and I don't know if he just didn't see me, but we're able to get a shot on him, and I tucked in here really quick, and then of course artillery's dropping him on my head. So I just whittled 219 off me. So that round right there, that's what I'm saying about the dispersion. Did you flip and see how big that reticle was? Frickin' thing was like this big as my screen. And I'm this close to him. I mean, that's what, 25 meters? Or 25 yards, 30 yards? at the most 40, and I pulled the trigger while I was moving, and I hit the building over here. Didn't even come close to hitting him. I mean, I was aimed in like this, and it hit way over here. So that's what I'm saying about the dispersion on this. If you're going to pull the trigger, make sure you come to a stop. With him, I probably should have came to a stop because I would have definitely hit him and finished him off. But he starts running from me here in a minute, which was probably pretty smart on his move for him to do. The thing is I pushed him around that corner in front of all these tanks that are finally coming this way. So we're only up to 1108 in damage, nothing special. Looks like I'm getting some lag in the game or something. The turret on this every once in a while is doing twing, twing. That might be all the damage I actually get in on this match now that I think about it. Here, I'm going to speed it up here, get across this field. Yeah, I think this might be it. Or I might get one more shot of damage. I'm not even sure now. No, I don't hit the Leopard. He gets taken out here in a minute by something that was down in there with him. Yeah, the T-71. T-71 had a good match. Actually, I think, God dang it, I think I might actually get one more shot of damage on the OI. Is it OI right? Yeah, the OI experimental. He's way back here in the corner. I think I do hit him one time. And oh boy, I did screw up though, because I had loaded a premium round. I was thinking that was the OI, just the standard OI. And look at this, that long aim time, but we're able to hit him. And the OI experimental still got decent armor, but 175 would have definitely went through his turret. That round, look, and you can see how slow it goes. Even the AP rounds don't have that good a velocity on this. I mean, if it's over 700, I would be shocked. So that T-67 is the only one that's left. And he gets taken out. So, 1486, nothing special, but I wanted to at least show you what, you know, you can kind of expect if you are going to get this. Like I said, if you've got the IS through the tech tree, that's actually probably even better than this. I think it's got a little bit better stats, and I go over this one and a couple other of the IS series that are tier 7, and yeah, KB122 IS, the IS Berlin, or IS2 Berlin, and the IS2-M, this one here. I think the IS actually was very competitive, if not a little bit better than the Berlin and this one. So, yeah, if you've already got the IS, you know, the tier 7 standard tech tree one, unless you got $40 burning a hole in your pocket, I mean, I wouldn't really waste the money, because unless they do something with these guns and they actually can, you know, elevate the penetration so you can go through something bigger than your, you know, thicker than a paper bag, because 175 just sucks. It always has and it always will. So, anyways, I do not have the post-game stats for that, so the next thing it's going to do is jump right into another battle. So I will be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So here we find ourselves on Himseldorf. 357 matchup, and we are in the IS2-M Tier 7 Heavy Tank. When I saw what they had on the enemy team, got a couple invisible, the UDs-03, Challenger, SU-100M1. I know those guys would probably go tracks or play this area over here, the 1-2-3 line. So I decided I'm going to go hill. Normally you get a lot of your lights and your mediums on both teams go up there. We actually got a tank destroyer coming up this way. I think he almost flips himself. Drunk driver. And you can see we're at 32, 33 kph. Once we hit the hill, it drags it right down. Everybody's kind of checking it out as they drive by. You'll see the all these guys checking it out with their turret, looking around. Wow, look at that! It's a blue tank. I'm gonna go ahead and just speed it up the hill here. No need in making you watch me climb a hill. But you can see they got a lot of mediums up here, so I was kind of happy I came up here to back these guys up. And it was mostly our lower tier stuff that came up this way. Well, including myself. except for our T-44. You can see this is as far as I can get the gun down. I'm backing up. I'm just letting it shrink all the way in. So when the TVP VTU pulled out, I was able to plug him in the turret and put one through him. I attempt to do the same thing here, but I think he wised up. And the AMX, I can't get a shot on him. Yeah, I shot a little bit too late. He was taking a shot at me too. So the thing is even though it looks like I'm safe, from their perspective, they can probably see that commander's hatch. And I don't have any mods on here, so I can't back it up and look to see what they can see. But I imagine they can see that commander's hatch, and that machine gun, gives me away when I'm pulling up here, because I can watch that machine gun. No, that's mounted obviously to that and pre-aim right in that spot. And the M49, AMX M449 does in a minute, and I believe he bounces off of it. Either that or he hit the turret, I'm not real sure. I don't have my paintball mod on here, so I can't, see, and I just can't get my gun down low enough to get a shot on these guys. See right there, I couldn't get my gun down far enough to hit the AMX's turret. Give me 1 second. I want to see if that is where he shot me. I really absolutely hate not having my... I'm thinking he hit me right here. I absolutely hate not having my paintball mod on here. But, yeah, that's got to be where he hit me. But, I've tried reinstalling it a couple times. Took a shot at that TVP again, and it was just a quick pull the trigger. I couldn't, let it aim in any longer than that because I wanted to get the shot off, or he'd have just backed up. So I figured I'm going to head over this way because I'm thinking these guys here are going to start trying to flank us over here. Couldn't get any shots down there. I do see a bunch, this AMX M4 and our 34-3. I'm like, come on, dude, you're a tier higher than me. Try and help. And I go for his lower plate. I do hit his lower plate and bounce. So I'm like, I'm going to try another premium round. That one hit, he bounced. Okay, so he bounced up and down, and my round didn't hit his lower plate on that one. It hit right in the upper plate. So I'm loading, no, I loaded an AP round this time too, I thought. Okay, so that time we did pen him. I thought I loaded an HE shell in there on him, but I guess I didn't. So he just gets pretty much whittled down to nothing. I see that P44 down there, and I think, hey, I'm going to be able to get a shot on him, but this long aim time, and I have no freaking clue where that round went. I mean, literally, I didn't even see the round. I think it might have actually hit right here, even though I was aimed over here, and it was pretty much almost all the way shrunk in, and either it was one of those ghost shells and it just nothing came out, or it hit right there, which that would be an awful, I don't know. That's just, if that did hit here, that would be really, and that was almost all the way shrunk in when I pulled the trigger. So I'm thinking more it was one of those freaking ghost shells where it basically, you pull the trigger and nothing comes out the barrel. So that was a nice chunk of damage I could have done on him that I lost out on because of that. And I figure, okay, time to head down the bottom of the hill here. So we'll hit as fast as this bad boy goes and going downhill, doing about 42. Yeah, about 40, 42. Not too shabby going down a hill. Climbing, it's another story though. So I'm really struggling to get any damage here. The enemy team's almost dead. So at this point, this is where you start, just trying to get, any damage you can. But you still have to watch it so that you don't get knocked out. And I see the E75 over here is my best bet because he's got the most health out of him or the T95. And I'm going to put it on here so you can see exactly where I aim. So you can see this is what I said about playing like a vulture. He just shot, so I'm going to pull in and try and take a shot. So lower plate, lower part of the lower plate, and it still bounced. It was orangish red, just like saying, you ain't going to go through. So I'm like, okay, I need to get damaged. So I risked it, pulled out, and paid off because I was able to go in through his side. I was really surprised that 217 wouldn't go through his lower plate. Straight on, too. He wasn't angled at all whatsoever. Straight on. He was backing up a little bit, but, you know, I mean, that was a good shot on my part. And for it to bounce like that, I was like, you got to be shitting me. But we ended up capping it out, and they ended up killing the T-95. So, you know, nothing spectacular. Just that's what happens when you're bottom tier. And you got, you know, tier 9s that have armor that can, you know, bounce your shells when you're point blank, literally point blank, and aiming at the weak spot, and you still can't penetrate it. That's why, you know, if these tanks are gonna see tier 9s, they need to give it a gun that can handle dealing with a tier 9. You know, so I mean, nothing wrong with the gun. They just gotta give it more penetration. I mean, I wasn't gonna waste shooting anything with 175 pen. Hell, I wouldn't have penetrated that VTU in the turret with 175. I mean, that's just a joke when you're bottom tier. But yeah, anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post-game stats for you. And so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so match number 2, we were bottom tier, and you can see the accuracy of this. It's really going to cause you some heartache. .42 is nothing spectacular. You literally have to let that thing shrink all the way in and still hope you hit your target if it's at any distance. The reload on this is a little bit better than your like standard IS2 because it's well, you know what we can do. Let's do this real quick, and then we're going to compare the IS2-M and the IS2. And the IS. We'll throw them all in there. I think I got another one. It's, no, that's all the ISs I think I've got. Oh, no. I've got that IS, oh no, that's the KV 122. It's a frickin' IS, so we'll throw that in there too. But, 217 pen, I shot nothing but premium because I knew standard rounds. I couldn't barely go through stuff with premium rounds. You know, I just don't understand why they know the tank's going to see tier 9s, and they give you such shitty penetration that even your premium rounds, I couldn't go through the front lower plate of a E75. I mean, I aimed at it, and it was like, I think it was still red. I mean, I don't even think I had a 50-50 chance. On the Amex M4 49 Liberty, I hit him in the lower plate. If I remember right, I hit him in the lower plate once, and for the premium round, bounced, so I switched to HE, hit him. I think I hit him in the, might have been the upper plate. Still, it bounced an HE shell. And then finally I loaded a premium shell again, and I put it through his commander's hatch. Had trouble trying to aim it because he was kind of moving, you know, he was doing what he was supposed to, wiggling around, moving and jiving. So, but when I first got up on the hill there, I hit that TVP VTU, and we hit him for, why is it not showing me? I don't know why it's not showing. I've been finding all sorts of, oh, probably because it's a glacier battle. Okay, here it is. I played that SU-101, or 100M1. I like that little tank destroyer, mean little bastard. Okay, so, yeah, there we go. So we hit him for 392, and I could almost not get the gun down far enough to hit him when he popped out, and then I was trying to stay in the same area and do the same thing. No luck. I just couldn't get the gun down far enough. Same with the AMX. He was back there a little bit. I was trying to get a shot at that commander's hatch. Easiest thing to pet on that thing. And I couldn't get my gun down low enough, and he wasn't coming forward enough. So I finally abandoned that, and I went around to try and get some close-up shots around the castle. Ran into the M449, and he was going through me easy cheesy with, you know, his I think it's like 218, 236. It's pretty. It's up there pretty far. So he's going through me no problem, and I was bouncing off him. Finally hit him in at Commander's Hatch. I did bounce one of his rounds, so I guess I got kind of lucky there. And then I spotted him, and he got hit for 39. He ended up getting just annihilated. E75, in order to penetrate him, I had to get on the side, because I shot him right in the front lower plate with a premium round, and it bounced, and I did hit him in the side for 408. But the way I tell people, when you're bottom tier, don't expect to probably do a lot of damage. What you got to do, and this is just my experience and my from playing the game so long, and this is just my 2 cents to maybe help you out. When you're bottom tier, play like a vulture. Well, literally, it sounds stupid, but literally play like a vulture. What you do is when a tier 9 or a tier 8 pulls out to take a shot, and that's what I was doing. I waited till that object, what was it, a 261? Yeah, 263. I waited for him to pop out, take a shot, and then the E75 would shoot at him, and then I would zing in there, take a shot, and then I'd get out of there. And I did that a couple times on the E75 because, and I was one shot for the E75, so I didn't want to be in front of his gun to get shot. So you literally just, scavenge for the pickings. When somebody takes a shot and the enemy shoots at them, you pop in there and shoot them real quick and back up and get safe again. And that's the only way you're going to be able to really stay in the game any length of time and, get some damage done. Because while he's reloading, you got all the time in the world to aim in where you want to shoot, take your shot, and then back up. Versus if he's loaded, you pull out, you're going to either one of the two. Try and take a shot real quick so you're going to rush your shot, completely miss where you're aiming, or you're just going to aim wherever you can shoot real quick, and you're not going to hit a weak spot. You'll end up hitting, some angled, really thick piece, and so you're going to bounce. Anyways, I was a little disappointed that I hit that E75 in the front lower plate straight on. He wasn't even angled, and still bounced off his front lower plate. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And accuracy on this is, it's, I mean, .4. I got mine down to 4.2, and that's just because the crew came with Brothers in Arms. You have to get the little more expensive one, but I figure I've got so many Russian tanks that I will use this crew in this and probably 50 other tanks if I need to move it around. So for me, it was worth it just to get that Brothers in Arms right off the bat. I think it was an extra $10 or something. But you came with a bunch of other crap too. But we hit the E75 on the side for 408. The M449 Liberté, we put one through his Commander's Hatch for 399. Knocked out his observation device, bounced one of his rounds. He got hit for 39 after we plugged him, or lit him up. And the VTU, we hit him one time for 392. We got 14 base capture points. We were way down here in the middle with 1,199 damage and a base experience of 763. Not too shabby on the experience that bumped me up there. So we had 9 shots, 6 hit, and only pen 3. Thank goodness the gun does decent amount of damage. So we did 1,199. I don't like not doing my hit points and damage because it's got 1,300 hit points. But when you're bottom tier, you take what you can get. I'd rather survive the match and not lose so much for repairing the vehicle. And half my hit points were pretty well gone. I think I got hit by artillery a couple times. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. There's, how many tier 9s in that match, and he's shooting at a flipping tier 7. But anyways, we got hit 4 times, 3 pen, 1 bounce for 300, and that was on that AMX. We damaged 3, destroyed 0. Damage with our assistance was 39. Woohoo! 14 base capture points. We ended up losing 1,349, which that's not really too shabby considering, I pretty much shot all premium except for a couple of HE shells. So let's just kind of compare these real quick. This is going to be a little bit longer video, but just want you to see what you're getting if you get it. Personally, like I would normally say, if you got the IS or IS2, the Berlin, don't waste your money. It does hold a little bit more ammo, and it does shoot a little bit quicker, I believe, but I just can't say, go out and spend $30 or $40 on something that, if you've already got the IS2 Berlin or an IS in your garage, it's kind of a waste of money, to be honest with you. Of course, I'm going to buy it so I can show you guys, how it is and whatnot. And we'll just put the standard IS in here too. And we'll even throw that KV. It's a KV 122. It's an IS. That's all it really is. If you look at it, it's almost the exact same model, except for the driver port. Alrighty, so IS2-M is the new one that we just got. Then we got the IS2 Berlin, standard stock, the regular Tech Tree IS, and the KV 122. It's an IS. It's an IS. That's basically all it is. Average damage on all of them 390. Average standard penetration sucks on all of them at 175. I tell you, that gun is just miserable. I hate the D. Was it D25T, right? And these, I've got them all configured about the same with the crew and everything. But what we'll do, how can we do this? I've got current crew. I'm just going to put 100% crew on all of them just to make it fair, because obviously some of them I've got more battles than others. I've got better, stuff set in other ones. So we'll just put it at 100% crew. Like everybody, like when you get it and you go out and buy a brand new crew is basically what it's going to be set up at. Whoops. Okay. Can't get any more even than that. Average damage per shot obviously stayed the same. And it looks like the firepower on the IS2-M and the KV 122 are less than the IS2 Berlin and the stock IS. Probably because aim time or something. Okay, so rate of fire is 5.78. It's the same on all of them except for the KV 122, which is a little bit less at 5.35. Now, I could have swore, I know it said it carried more ammo in the IS2M, but I could have swore it's probably because of Brothers in Arms. That's got to be what it is. Because I could have swore it said that it actually shot faster, or had a better rate of fire. Nope, still 5.78. Yeah, the reload 10.38 on all of them except for 11.22 on the KV 122. Put this back at 100%. So I must have misread something. But I know it does carry more ammo, but maybe that's all it was. Turret Traverse is the best on the KV 122, because that's kind of the way I understand it, if I remember right. That one's got more armor geared towards like a medium. You get a little more speed, but you lose some armor. 29.7 on the rest. Gun elevation and depression, it's identical on all of them except for it is only plus 20 on the KV 122, which 5, it's not going to make a huge difference. There's nothing, you have to be pointing your gun like that, something way up on a hill. Aim time is actually the best on the KV 122, and the other ones it is all the same. Dispersion is the best on the IS2M, which is 0.42, and that's not saying much. 0.43 on the rest. Average damage per minute, 22.55 on all of them, except for its 28.5 on the KV-22. I could have swore they said that it had a better rate of fire. I almost would swear on the Holy Bible I remember them saying that it had a better rate of fire, because it was saying something about you're going to have a better DPM because it shot faster. Well, with 100% crew setup, it looks pretty much the same to me. Hit points, you get the most on the IS2M at 1300. You get 1280 on the IS2 Berlin, and the stock IS you get through the Tech Tree 1230, and the lowest is on the KV 122 at 1200. Hull armor is the best on the IS, the regular IS and the Tech Tree, and it looks like it's the same on everything else. Yeah, it is. Except for the KV-122, you do get less armor, but that's why they gave it less armor. It's to make it more speedy. It's kind of supposed to be more. Yeah, you see the mobility. It's 478. It's the best because it's got less armor, less weight. Um, Engine horsepower is best on the Tech Tree IS and KV-122. Specific power to weight on this new IS2-M is 1224, so that's the worst. That's the worst one out of the bunch. It's the best on the standard IS Tech Tree. Top speed is identical on all of them except for the KV-122. It's 42 versus 34 in forward, but reverse is still 14. Same across the board there. Traverse speed is going to be best on your KV-122 because, like I said, less armor. 38.4. So it's not bad. I mean, switching. Concealment is gonna be it's the same on all of them except for it's the wow. That's kind of funny. In the KV-122, it's the least. Seems like just about had two idiots hit each other out here. So yeah, 9.92. That's not bad. It's the same across the board except for the KV-122. And my grape is in the way for these, which is going to be your view range, which is 406 on the. Did that? 100% crew. Why? I wonder if it still had those on there. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, well, with what I had on there, it's only going to affect the view range. Brothers in Arms will bump up a little bit on some of the other stuff, but not substantial enough to make a big difference in comparing these. I understand I put it, when I said configure, I said 100% crew. I assumed it would have taken these things off, all the way through, but I was wrong. Yeah, because I saw the view range. I'm like, I don't remember mine being no 4 something until I put the coated optics on there because it's 385 stock, which is still the highest, and I think it's 406 with my coated optics. Yeah, the rest of them 365, 369, 368, and then radio range is the best on the IS2 Berlin, and the KV-122. And 730 on the IS2M, and the standard IS that you get in the Tech Tree, 638. So, to be honest with you, if you've got an extra 35, 40 bucks that you have burning a hole in your pocket, I'd get it. But either that or if you collect tanks. But if you've already got the IS standard Tech Tree IS, the IS2 Berlin, I wouldn't waste my money. It's nothing special. I'd say this was the second match that I had. The first one, I think it was top tier, and you can see the difference in the amount of damage you can do because obviously you can push more. You're top tier. When you're bottom tier, like I said, just play like a vulture, and just take the damage that you can get when one of your tier 9s or tier 8s pull out to take a shot. They get shot by the enemy, and then you pop out and just take as much on them as you can. I'll go ahead and just do the review of it now too. It is look a little bit different in the front here. They've got the. It was like at that when they were designing this tank, they were looking at probably making it a pike nose maybe. Because you can see how it's got the angles there, and then it hits the front, and they went with a standard front drive hatch instead of going like a pike nose. That'd be cool if it was a pike nose. I mean, if it were decent lower frontal armor. But we kind of just went over the statistics of this actually. The rate of fire and everything going through what we just did. So basically, I'll just go on the armor here. It's 100 in the front on the hull and the turret. Massive weak spot right there, the commander's hatch. 90 on the hull and the turret. And 60 on the hull and the turret in the rear. So basically, we just went over the stats going through the comparisons, so I'm not going to bore you and do it again. So, yeah, I mean, it's great if you're top tier, but if you're bottom tier, you got to be careful because you'll get whittled down pretty easy. You might bounce the occasional round if you're bottom tier, but that's only if they kind of shoot you in the turret and hit your, spaced armor on the gun mantle. But yeah, it's kind of got some good angles here for side scraping. Yeah, no, I guess if they pull out that right there, you pull out the side scrape, that's going to make that a big kind of weak spot, really. You pull out at an angle. I mean, at a distance, they might not be able to really see it, but if they know it's there, yeah, I can see them aiming right for that and poking you in the eyeball. But anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I'll see you on the battlefield.